Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 22nd, 2013 Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting. Remind everybody that this meeting is being audio taped and videotaped. First thing is to call the meeting to order. Second is the Pledge of Allegiance. Stu, would you lead us?
Certainly. Glad to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stu.
My pleasure.
Okay. Next on the agenda is chairman's comments. I have none tonight. I'll make some next week, definitely. 7:05 in about 4 minutes. It will be citizen query from 7:05 until 7:15. Just briefly, on the agenda tonight, we have an appointment 7:15 with Shellfish Commissioner Jack Grunston. We have 7:30, an appointment with Police Chief Barker. 7:45, we have an appointment Town Administrator Deborah Egan. Okay, first, why don't we go into general business? Okay, the first on the agenda in general business is to sign the election warrants. We need a motion to do this. Have a motion to sign the election warrants.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, there's about 8 that need to be signed, okay, so that will
Okay.
take some time. You see that in there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. And before we start this, can we have a moment of silence for last week for the victims that were lost at the... Okay, remember all the victims of the marathon tragedy last week, and I want to say a big thank you to all the police forces out there who did a wonderful job in apprehending these two terrorists. And our own Sergeant Sedgwick took part in the proceedings in town and was on duty through most of it. So when the chief comes in tonight, we'll have him give us a little update on what Sergeant Sedgwick did. But Sergeant Sedgwick serves on the hostage negotiation team. So Nemlik, yes. So
We also want to thank the first responders for what they did in helping all of the injured and getting them to the neighborhood hospitals. Saved a few lives. A few lives.
Quite a week last week, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
I felt so sorry for the people down in Texas too. The West Texas, when I go down the border,
The fertilizer plant.
I stop at West Texas when I'm going down there to work in the orphanages, and there's a little Czechoslovakian pastry shop, and there was a picture taken looking north in the mushroom-shaped cloud. It was right in front of the Czech restaurant. It was taken, so it was like, wow.
Yep.
So it's a little tiny town, and I just can't imagine the devastation that's been done down there.
Nope.
Sorry. We're stuck together.
Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, also.
Thank you. Let's just do that.
Thank you, gentlemen. And moving on to remind everybody that we're being audio taped, videotaped. Also, we are now in citizen query, for about 4 minutes, between 7:05, 7:15. Anybody have anything to? Okay. Continue on. Antique, general business number 2, antique license renewal for Judith L. Comley. Judith L. Comley Bargain Hunt Realty Trust, 280 Main Street, has submitted a renewal for their antique slash junk license to be renewed through May 1st, 2014. All required forms except for the workers' compensation affidavit and the renewal fee have been submitted. The applicant does not have outstanding taxes, water, electric bills. Does the board wish to review this license contingent upon receipt of the completed workers' compensation affidavit? Discussion from the board?
I would recommend that we vote to sign it and then hold it until the
On contingent.
paperwork has come through.
Okay. Have a motion to,
I'll second that.
have a motion to, that's the motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that is contingent on receiving the affidavit. Thank you. Okay, moving on to general business number 3, road opening permit request for National Grid to open 180 Dodge Road for new gas service. Everyone looked over the papers? Everything appeared to be in order? Have a motion for the road opening permit at 180 Dodge Road.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, okay, general business number 4. I have a road opening permit for 61 Weathersfield Street for a gas leak. Everything seems to be appropriate here. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
On. Okay, it is 7:15 and citizen query is now over. We have an appointment, as I stated before, at 7:30 with Shellfish Commissioner Jack Grunstrom to discuss the letter from the U.S. Department of Interior regarding Stack Yard Road. And with that, Jack, come on down. We reserved a seat right up front for you.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll read this in the record,
Oh, good,
okay?
good.
Okay, this is from the United States Department of Interior to the Raleigh Shellfish Commissioners. Dear sirs, we are writing to notify you and others that as of May 1st, 2013, the portion of Stackyard Road lying within the Parker River National Wildlife Refuge called Nelson's Island Road will be closed permanently to all motorized access. As you know, at the end of Stackyard Road, the Parker River National Wildlife Refuge has a small parking area. This lot is used by refuge hunters during waterfowl seasons and by hikers who walk the Nelson Island Trail over the refuge road onto Nelson's Island for wildlife viewing. Also, in the past, commercial clammers have been allowed vehicle access over the refuge road trail, primarily during the winter months. The road through the salt marsh continues to settle, is lower than the surrounding salt marsh. It has large areas of standing water In some locations, evidence of vehicles and pedestrians can be seen along the edge of the road over the salt marsh vegetation as they attempt to find higher and drier routes. It is due to these conditions on the road from the parking area east to Nelson's Island that the refuge will close and abandon the road effective May 1st, 2013, in discontinuance and prohibit all motorized access over the road, which will allow to revert to native vegetation. The parking area at the end of Stackyard Road will remain in foot access to Nelson's Island Trail for hunting, wildlife viewing, and other permitted allowed refuge uses will continue until such time as conditions deteriorate further to the point where the trail may be discontinued. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Contact me at the above address and phone number. Sincerely, Graham W. Taylor, Refuge Manager. With that, Jack.
Okay, one of these was also sent to our harbor master, Phil Demendo, who was also extremely interested in this, and he may have got tied up, but he expected to be here tonight. I'll give you a little history on the thing. Back in around 1957, when the refuge was first seized, they seized it very difficultly. We fought it for quite a while, and we finally ended up making an agreement that as long as they did not obstruct access for our clam digging out there, that the selectmen signed off on it. So what happened until that time, the road was built way back. It's a very historic road, probably one of the oldest roads in town. That's where they stacked their salt hay when they first come over here. And the farmers that were down there put a causeway across the marsh. There's a stretch of marsh probably 300 yards long that they put a causeway across. They probably put in logs and rocks and whatnot for the horses and wagons to go over. And then when they started doing commercial clamming down there, the clammers maintained the road by taking the shells that they shucked the day before, dumping them off the back of the truck on the way down, and they run them over on the way back and pack them down. So they maintained a very nice road. Then when the refuge put up a gate down there so you couldn't drive through, that all ceased because the truckers couldn't get down there to do it. So it's just deteriorated ever since, and it is in a bad spot right now. There's a section there probably 10 or 15 yards long that is really below the marsh, that water settles in, especially on high tides. It sits there. And the guys, apparently from what he says here, have at some point or other gone off to the side a little bit so that they could get out of that deep water. So this is going to be his reason for closing the road. It's going to be very difficult on our clammers, especially the non-commercial clammers, especially if he closes the trail as he says he will. It's difficult on our commercial clammers right now because it's about, would you say, a mile down?
Yeah, it's a mile. You have to lug all your clams back.
And 180 pounds of clams. There aren't many clammers down there that can dig a tide and lug 180 pounds back. So they've been allowed to drive out through there up until this point. And as of the 1st of May, they will not be allowed to. It'll be a real burden on our economy, especially their economy as an individual clam digger, and a hardship to especially the older people in town that like to go out there. It's the only place we can drive to the river and walk out and dig clams. So it's going to be quite a burden. Bill Demendo also has a public safety concern with this. A few years ago we took, I don't know, I think there were people from who would evacuate people in case of an emergency up at this nuke plant out to find the best possible route to get to the ocean. That's the only place where the channel comes right in where a pretty good sized boat can come into at any tide. And they selected that as the primary spot. Bill can tell you a lot more about it than I can, but I do know that that is a concern. What I would like to do is get together probably either by meeting or by mail with the board, with a member maybe of the Board of Selectmen, a member of the Clam Commissioners, and a member of the Harbor Master group, and either sit down with Mr. Graham and talk about this thing. I think we've got to come to some sort of a resolution to make this thing work. And I don't know if we could do it by mail or not. I think probably a face-to-face would be the best way to do it.
What
And that's why
happens to all the clamshells now then?
there's two huge piles of clamshells in town that could probably be procured very reasonably and taken down there and dumped into that road and smashed down the same way we did it for years, a little bit at a time. There's a huge pile down back of Savage's, and there's a huge pile down at Pikel's Farm. They dumped in there for years, and then they stopped and started dumping down at Savage's. I don't know why.
How
But
come,
they're all very well seasoned. You know, they're all several years old. How come? I'm sorry.
how come that, you know, procedure of dumping all the clamshells down there was stopped?
Well, they put a gate up down there, so the
Oh,
trucks
okay.
couldn't get through.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just never.
Yeah, the only ones that could get through the gate was commercial clammers who could get out and get a sticker at the wildlife refuge and put it on their windshield, and then they could drive through. Non-commercial clammers never had that right. They have to walk out that mile and lug 10 or 20 quarts of clams back in. And that's a difficult thing. We have probably at least 20, if not more, senior citizens that like to go out and get a few clams. And extremely difficult for them. I'd like to
It's,
see
it's a
all
long,
of
long way out there. I've gone out all the way to the stackyard.
It's what I'm saying.
It is a long way out there.
It is.
It's got to be almost a mile. You're right.
Oh, I think it's just about, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to somehow prevent the closure. I don't know what we might be able to do it, but
I have a,
maybe a meeting.
I have an email from Bill Demento.
Oh, you did, good.
So I'll read this in, because Bill's across the hall with the assessors right now.
Okay.
Says, I have an assessors meeting this evening and may not be able to attend the selectmen's meeting during the discussion regarding Parkin River National Wildlife Refuge intention. The intention to close the Nelson Island Road to automobile traffic permanently. I received a letter from the refuge manager this week notifying me of their intentions. Although the mandate of the PRNWR is to protect the wildlife in our environment, it is important to keep in mind that mankind continues to create situations that put our environment and wildlife in harm's way. My department has been working with the Department of Environmental Protection over the past several years to help develop an oil spill response plan that will mitigate catastrophic damage along Raleigh's coastline and pristine tributaries of the Great Marsh. Continued access to Nelson Island Road is a vital part of the emergency response plan and has been developed and implemented. Raleigh Fire Department Chief Jim Broderick is the emergency response coordinator for Raleigh. This area of the PRNWR is also known as Area C. It is preserved to protect wildlife, but also charted to allow public access, winter season commercial permitted clamming access, and seasonal waterfowl hunting. Although most of the access to the refuge is by foot and has been traditional to allow commercial clammers winter access by vehicle and emergency police, fire, harbor master access. During the winter, this is often the only access to the open water, and I have personally used the road in late January to facilitate a small boat launch for a search and rescue operation for a lost hunter. I strongly suggest that this access road be maintained using clamshells or negative gravel as it was in the past. Thank you, Bill Demento, Raleigh Harbor Master.
Yeah, it's the oil spill thing, right. I do know that Gordon Graham, at least up until quite recently, he talked to John. He'd be amenable to rebuild it with clamshells, because at that time he talked to John about having the dealers start dumping down there, but it just has never got into process because this hit us without any knowledge at all. So that's why I think maybe something can be worked out.
Okay. Just
Can I just say, I just want to speak for
John,
my,
can you just state for the record your name?
John H. Grunstrom.
Not to confuse anybody.
I just want to speak for myself as a clammer and the importance of the end of that road. In the wintertime, no matter how frozen the Raleigh River is, the Parker River can freeze solid. The channel there is so deep, it is the only open area because the wind blows out of north and northwest, all the ice goes to the Plum Island side. That area, it can be 10 below zero. At the end of that road will not freeze up unless it's 10 below for a month. It's a 5-mile boat ride from the Raleigh landing out
Around to get to.
there. So if you're going, which I will go in the morning, the ice doesn't bother me and the cold doesn't bother me. I will go out of that Raleigh River just about as the sun's coming up and take the 5-mile ride. I have no problem with that. But it's a lot easier when it's 10 above zero to get in your truck when it's dark, drive out there and sit there till the sun comes up and go out and do your business for an hour and a half than to drive around. The other thing is that the average clammer that even in the summertime is digging on the horseshoe is well into their 50s, and some of the guys are in their 60s.
Yeah.
And God forbid anything should ever happen, the quickest access to get somebody help is that road out to the end there with an ambulance and a 100-yard ride across to the end. It's
That's
very,
right out to the island. Is that?
yeah,
That's right.
it's very, very, very important. Not everybody's going to use it all the time in the winter. There's a few people that use it all the time, but it's great to have when you really need it. And it's the only place we can dig in the winter when it's tremendously cold.
How big are the flats out there?
The flat we dig on there at the end of that road is probably 10 acres.
10 acres.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only place where you can go and get soft shell clams, razor clams, and oysters all in the same
Same stretch.
setting. And that's what I tell people when they come to get a permit. That's the place to go. Drive out there, walk out, and you can get any one or all three of them. You know.
Okay.
But it's tremendously important. There was a winter 5 years ago where even the Newbury guys, I mean, they have the right to use it, but they were actually going out there, and 5 or 6 of them would lift a 14 or 16-foot boat off trailers and walk them down and put them in the water.
Wow.
When they were through, they'd pick the boat up and walk it back up and put it on a trailer. It can be a winter, which it hasn't been, but it can be a winter where that is the only way I am going to make a living and eat. So it's pretty, to me, it's
Very
important.
important.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, to at least 150 shellfishermen, either commercial or non-commercial.
That use that access.
Yeah.
They could
Well,
use it.
it's just available for them, and they don't use it all the time, but they use it when necessary.
Well, I guess it's aquaculture is an important part of our our town. So.
It's historically, I mean, very important in the clamming industry.
Oh yeah. What do you need from us? Need a.
Is what?
What do you need from us? You need a.
Well, I don't know. Maybe a letter. I would like to see a committee of maybe one selectman, one commissioner, and one harbor master or whatever
Okay.
to go down and discuss I think they're all very important items. I would have gone down myself if I hadn't have known that Bill was also involved. And I
Okay.
thought that for 2 of us to get together and do it, we should get it done through the Board of
Okay.
Selectmen. Now, I don't know, maybe a letter in response to this, suggesting that we set up a meeting to discuss this whole thing and see what we can work out. I want to work something out.
Okay. Okay. Why don't we do a letter and also have a selectman? Okay.
Designate, yeah.
Designate
Yeah.
selectman. Ron, do you have something?
I actually have a meeting with this gentleman Thursday at 1 o'clock down Stackyard Road in regards to something else.
Oh, you do.
Yes, I mean, if we can get clamshells and he's willing to let us use the loader to go beyond that gate, it is something that we could fill in because we do grade that road down to the gate.
Wow.
Well, I think there's our opportunity
We
right
have
there.
bought it once to let hunters get down there.
Okay.
The only reason I remember is a piece of ice came across and smashed in the front end of the loader and the windshield, so
That would be
very expensive.
Yes.
But if we get
Remember
the
that.
clamshells and people are willing to donate some, we can donate the equipment.
We can get the shells.
So
I'm sure
what day
we'll
is
get the
it?
shell.
Thursday, I
Thursday.
believe at 1 o'clock, I'm meeting them down there about some drainage work, and I talked to him today in regards to this.
Okay. Joe, you interested?
Yes.
You interested? Okay. We have a volunteer from the Board of Selectmen.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Joe to meet with Ron and Mr. Taylor, is it? Yeah.
Is this
Okay.
Right.
okay?
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, doesn't sound like we need a letter right now. We can go forward with this.
And will you write a letter setting up this joint meeting, or how do you want to do it? We don't want to surprise them.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a motion to?
Yeah, I think we ought to have I'll make a motion that we set up a joint meeting, what is it, Ron? You're
One
meeting
on
with-
Thursday, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Using a letter, we'll contact
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor, is it?
With one of our members representing would be Mr.
I think this is great.
Okay.
Joe
Yeah, it is.
Perry. and-
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And get
Yeah,
a,
I think we may get something done out of this, and especially this thing with the harbor master. I think that's extremely critical.
yes. Yeah, I think Bill is important to be there.
And the access, like John says, for somebody that has a stroke downriver or something like
Sure.
that, it's right there.
Plus, I think it's, it's important to aquaculture, so, for the clammers.
Yeah.
They have access down there and down the stack.
Yeah.
Support road.
The
Okay.
other thing too is that most of the time of year when we use that from December to February, that's as frozen as concrete. out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you can drive, it's ice, you can drive right across the ice, you know.
Yeah, I've been down there in the dead of winter. It's,
Yeah,
It's a great place.
Yeah, there's a good road that goes.
well, yeah, it's, you
Yeah.
can see the wildlife and
There
everything
is a
else
good
down
road
there.
down there. I mean, no one abuses it. Remember
Right.
years back, John, we went down
Oh, yeah.
up on the field.
Yeah.
You leave the marks, but we don't
no, you don't
go
use
to
it.
the right all
No,
around.
don't
The only
abuse
thing
it.
that follows you up now, if you get 4 foot of snow,
Yeah, that's just.
Well,
Well,
Someone's gonna
just
bear
that new
that.
road they put in, the old road up over
Yeah,
the
up
hill used
over
to
the
be
hill.
fine, it would blow off, but then they
Yeah.
put the road in down around the corner and cut that road off, and now that dips up with like 6 and 8 feet of snow there.
right?
So when
Yeah.
you got a lot of snow,
Yeah.
you can't get through that way unless
Yeah.
we can get somebody to get out and pick some snow out of there.
Well, that's
And they
good.
did give us that opportunity
Yeah.
many years ago when we couldn't get through.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, if you can get somebody to now plow it, we'll allow them to do so. But at that time, we didn't have anybody available to get on and plow it, you know. But they wouldn't do it, but they said they'd allow us to do it. So I think if we take over the, whatever maintenance is required, they may come along with it, you know. But what they don't want is it gets so that people are driving all out around the water on the pristine marsh, you know.
Right.
Well,
I'm
some-
sure right now you're talking about a foot either way, but
Don't know much about clamming, okay? When the shells, after a while, did they, have to dry a certain amount of time before you can drive over them? So the,
Oh, you,
what do you mean?
like they do it instantaneously?
you could take
Dump
shells
them in-
today,
Okay,
just dump
all
them.
right.
Dump them and crush them, yeah, even fresh shells. Like I say, from a
Okay.
Thursday's shucking, they would take them down on Friday morning, dump them off the back of the truck going down on the way back, run them over, and everybody else would run them over too, you know.
Any,
Treads them right down.
any,
Yeah.
anything that might be there, the seagulls take care of.
Yeah, they'll take the excess meat out of them if
Yeah,
there's some.
seagulls are always there for you. Okay, anything else you can do for you, Jack?
Appreciate it very
Sounds good
much.
to me, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's tremendous.
All right,
I'll,
Super.
Or you wanna contact Bill and see if he might be able to get involved, or maybe Freddie Hardy, either one, 'cause Fred knows all about it. He was the one that went down with me with those people to find a place to have access, and that was the spot, you know.
The other thing about why that's so important in the wintertime is, in the wintertime, the wind constantly blows out of the north and northwest.
Mhm.
The banking that you step off of, when you look back at low tide, is a good 15 feet high. I mean, it angles up. That's the only place you can actually dig comfortably and get out of the wind in the
Yeah.
wintertime. I mean, you can literally be there and the snow will be blowing over your head and curling up in the rolls, and you're standing there, and you can actually be there and not be uncomfortable.
Earn your money in those times, don't you?
But you love it though.
Well, you learn quick to get down to the cricks when the wind's blowing,
you go.
especially west winds.
Isn't that in the history of Raleigh with, what was his name? Pulsiver?
Oh, yeah.
It got-
Pulsifer and Elwell.
Yeah, they got stuck out in, by the
Come
stacks.
Home, they come home 3 days later and
3
told their
days
wives
later.
they was floating around in a haystack.
And their wife-
Oh,
And their wives wanted to know where they were.
I've seen those guys floating around in haystacks down there before.
They wound up in Ipswich that night.
Yeah, I have a friend, Nat Pulsver, from Ipswich. I always say, is he a relative of
He
yours?
is. He's a relative there. Yeah. And
That's good.
I met him in the store once. He said, "Did you ever hear of Pulitzer and all?" And I told him the whole story. He said, "I thought I was the only one left alive that knew that."
Yeah. I read that. That was a great story.
Yeah. Bumped one haystack, drove into the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
What was it, what, 1660 or something like that? 1670?
Yeah, late 1600s.
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it was in December, and it was a nice day when they went down. And by the time they got back, they couldn't see the way to get back.
Great stories all around.
Yeah, it is. Excellent, excellent. And it was
Back then, there was
reported.
no motors.
Yes. Yeah.
It was reported in the Boston paper, and also given to a local minister to verify. He wasn't there though.
No,
He listened to the story.
the VFW had been open, they would have had a lot of explaining to do.
One other thing, there's so much history on that
Yeah.
road that, I mean, we can get in at some point. That road was used by everybody that was not from the East End. The East End clammers used the landing, and everybody else in town used Stackyard Road.
The uptowners.
The uptown-
The Uptowners,
Uptowners. Yeah.
And another thing, Stevie Kent and his brother Phil, who were in their 70s and 80s, used to say they would come out of there with their father after clamming, and there was a guy on Stackyard Road that had a cider stand. And all the time they were clamming, they were thinking of getting back to that cider stand to get cold
There
cider.
was a mill there.
Yes.
You
Like a
bet.
mill, right opposite
Isn't-
Patmos.
A lot of history.
Right opposite what?
Opposite Patmos.
Yeah,
Another little
yeah,
indentation
exactly.
there.
Yeah, there's still a
There's a
little
cider
bit.
mill
Had been
there.
a camp there for
Yeah,
years.
now
Yeah.
You
Greenbelt
imagine.
land.
well, I have to remind everybody, this is the Selectmen's meeting and not Old
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
History
All
Night.
right.
Now, John, the reason they went to Stackyard Road was because that's where the high bush ones were.
The high
Oh
bush
God,
country.
yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the primary.
Ozzie Hill.
Those are the premium clams. So you get the high bush ones, you're in good shape.
Thank you very much.
John, Jack,
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Thank
coming
you
in.
very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday at 1.
1 o'clock. You got it.
Super,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, it is, we're a little bit behind. It's 7:38, and we have an appointment with Chief Barker to discuss the Pine Grove evacuation drill. Chief, come on down. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have there was a evacuation drill scheduled for Wednesday, April 24th. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Chief. You can explain what's happened and what's transpired.
Right, well, we did have an evacuation drill scheduled for the Pine Grove School. The plan was to take the students off-site. It was a fairly lengthy planning procedure and fairly ambitious plan, but with all the events that have happened in recent, well, within the last couple of weeks, the school superintendent, Christopher Farmer, decided this afternoon that he was going to cancel the drill. Well, he's calling it postponed, but for our essential purposes, it's canceled. He cited, when I reached him this afternoon, he cited that he felt it was in the best interest of the young children not to be around massive police resources at this time, which they would be. We were planning on closing roads and having roadblocks and escorts, and so they would have been in the presence of significant police presence, but it was superintendent's decision to do that, and
What would have transpired anyways, Chief? Just give some background, because eventually we'll do this in the future sometime.
yeah, well, it's important that we do this. I think the events of the past couple of weeks illustrate the need for having a proper plan in place. And as you probably know, we've been drilling with Pine Grove School and all different aspects of this plan. Just the only thing we haven't done is take it to the final culmination yet, which is actually physically taking them off site. Because there's a lot of planning and resources involved in that. We need to do that safely. So the plan this time was to use 10 communities plus the state police. Their law enforcement officers were all going to come in and respond to the drill, and we were going to block several of the roads and keep traffic out of the downtown area while the kids came out of the school and walked up the middle of Main Street. you know, people will say, well, gee, why do you use the middle of Main Street? Well, this plan has to work winter, summer, spring, fall. And the only place we're pretty darn sure is going to be clear all the time is going to be Main Street. If Main Street isn't clear, there's not going to be any school, so we won't have to worry about it. But, you know, sidewalks and paths and things like that would may not be clear during the winter. You know, if we have a heavy winter like we did last winter, you know you're going to be able to go up Main Street. So that's the way we plan it, so that we know in the worst case scenario we're always going to be able to execute the plan as designed.
And the assembly point was going to be?
Well, we were going to use the town common. It's an area that's large enough to hold. Well, we have about 600 students at the school and probably another 80 or 100 staff. And so this yeah, it's fairly big population, and so there was room enough on that common for that many people. We had arranged for North Reading Transportation to have buses available. The plan was to bring the children up by foot, and then as soon as they get up there, we'd take another head count, put them back on the buses. When everybody was accounted for, just bus them back to the school.
Okay.
And we had Action Ambulance on standby. They had chair cars and other things. Like I said, the bus company, we had 10 communities plus the state police to assist us with traffic. The fire department was going to be available.
How many police officers were going to?
Well, I had 2 extra patrols, and I have between administrative staff and my administrative assistant, we were going to be able to put 4 other people out there. So we're talking a fairly big contingent. We'd arranged with the Bradford Tavern. They allowed us to use their parking lot in the morning to stage police units, because the idea is to keep the downtown clear, so we couldn't have police or any other responding units going through the downtown. So we set up a staging area off-site, and they were willing to allow us to use that.
How many fire units were going?
It was going to be a very limited fire response, so we were going to bring 1 engine in from Georgetown.
Okay.
Engine or ladder, I'm not sure. And the reason for that is we just want to see if the pathways around the Main Street were going to be viable for fire trucks to come through. And so
How long was this going to last?
We were planning on it taking an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. I'd sent an officer downtown on Friday, and he spoke with a lot of the businesses down there and let them know that this was in the works. I spoke personally with several businesses, including Robert's Funeral Home, to make sure that everybody was aware of it.
Any questions from the board?
How many police officers were going to be involved?
Well, it's you can never
Roughly.
be sure, but like I said, 10 communities, we would have had at least 10 police cars. I think that Newburyport and Amesbury are planning on sending 2. So then we had 4 of our own. So we were talking 16 police cars probably, and maybe 18 or 20 officers in total.
Yes, Ron.
It was actually, the highway department was involved in the last time that we did this. We were the ones that combed the streets and directed traffic. And I gotta tell you, the response time from the other communities, they were there in the blink of an eye.
When we do this before?
4 years now?
Yeah, it was Kevin Barry was chief.
Okay.
It was at least 4 years, probably 5. It was a partial evacuation. They evacuated the children to St. Mary's across the street, which is a viable option unless you have an explosive situation or a natural disaster in that particular area, and then you've got to move them further away. And we never intended for St. Mary's to be the actual evacuation zone, but it was a step.
Okay.
Very good.
Any question, Bob?
No, I think it's, I think it's a necessity that we should do this.
It is, and if the events in Boston taught us anything, one thing that several of the chiefs that I spoke with have reiterated is if Boston had school last week, if you think it was bad the way it would have been 10 times worse if they were evacuating schools and trying to find places for all those children. So it just illustrates the need to continue to perform these type of drills and make sure that we know where the problems are going to be, and we can iron the plan out as neatly as we can, so that it works flawlessly in the event we have a real emergency.
Well, I have to commend the police for all the communities in Boston, in Metro North. They really did a great job in responding. And
This was unprecedented. I don't mind saying we've never seen the likes of it, and
No.
there's a good chance we'll never see it again. It was an unprecedented response. I'm just dumbfounded by what we were able to accomplish. This was totally foreign to anything we've ever done.
Yeah.
This was a hard target search under just ridiculous conditions. There was police agencies from everywhere that you probably all saw them on the news. You know, the New Hampshire, all the state police. Raleigh belongs to the organization called NEMLIC, and I actually had an officer in Boston. He did 34 hours over the week.
Wow.
Sergeant David Cedric, he's attached to the SWAT team. He's a certified hostage negotiator, and they roll with the SWAT team. I spoke with David this afternoon, and he said it was unlike anything he'd ever done before. He basically, he was providing, in the beginning of the week, he was providing security at some of the local hospitals when they had a person of interest, which turned out to be unrelated. He was part of the team that was providing security for that. When he got in there on Thursday, after everything broke loose, he said he was perimeter control for the first 3 hours until about 5 in the morning, and he was broken free from that, and they attached him to a SWAT team, and they did house-to-house searches in downtown Watertown. He said he estimated they did 100 houses in about 14 hours.
Really?
Wow.
So,
Well, if you're going to be with somebody, Sergeant Sedgwick's the guy to be with. I've been out in the car with him. He's as cool as a cucumber.
yeah, he's trained.
He
He's
really
trained
is.
quite significantly, and
Yeah.
as has all of the NEMLIC team. They drill monthly, and more frequently than that, they'll drill sometimes bi-monthly. But they go on a lot of calls. A lot of area towns that belong to NEMLIC don't hesitate to use them because they're a great resource. The other people that use us all the time is Boston. They were there for all the Red Sox parades and the Bruins parades and the Patriots parades. They always call NEMLIC out because they have a real high level of training, and they can put qualified people on the streets pretty quick. So.
Yeah, they really haven't changed, especially over the past 30 years, because you don't have the Metropolitan Police anymore.
Right.
That was the big backup, and now you have all the communities that got to have these response teams.
Well, NEMLIC was formed back in the late '60s, and it began with a couple of chiefs down in the Boston area or the suburbs getting together and saying, we could really use this, but we can't afford it, or we have this and we have that. How can we share these resources? And they got together with what they call mutual aid agreements, and they formed this organization, NEMLIC. It started off small, and it now has 54 agencies in it.
Wow.
They can put out as you saw, they have, I believe, 2 SWAT teams and a couple of platoons of rapid response teams, which are a step down from a SWAT. They have a mobile motor unit. I'm not sure how many motorcycles, but it's quite a few, probably 25 or 30. That they can put together for traffic control, and there's several other different divisions. They have a detectives division, and we just get together and do resource and shared training opportunities. It really works out well for the town.
Well, the Homeland Security money was well spent, because you really could see it on how they responded last week.
Yeah.
Again, my hat's off to all the law enforcement agencies that took part. It was really a great job.
Yeah.
So anything else?
I don't think that about covers it.
Okay. I think next time we do this evacuation, I think we come in beforehand. fire department, yourself, and sit down and we'll go through all the procedures. So
Yeah,
that
sure, it's
we'll get everybody on board in the town so we know where we're headed. We'll do it, all the department heads. It'll be good. Anything else, Chief?
No, that's it.
Okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Chief, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Okay.
And tell Dave.
Yeah, I have every intention of doing something for David. I just
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to yet. Smoke is still clearing, so to speak.
Yeah, I know, yeah, we're still trying to come down from last week.
Right.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay.
That's quite a team
Thank you.
in Boston. All these towns and cities. you
It
guys
absolutely was.
Came together just like clockwork.
And they worked together flawlessly. And there was no professional jealousy or anything like that. They just pitched in and worked just like they work
All pulled
together all the
together.
time. All together, absolutely.
Thanks again, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay. Okay, 7:40, running a little bit behind. So it's 7:52, and we had an appointment at 7:45, Town Administrator, Personnel Officer Deborah Egan on performance evaluation. Okay. Deborah Egan said her performance evaluation is required to be done in open session, but that the completion of the document can be done in executive session due to privacy statute. She said that she is waiving her right to have the document completed in executive session and said that the chairman can complete it in open session. So with that, gentlemen, I'll read the goals set for this year. My last performance evaluation was May 7th, 2012. Since that time, I have worked on the following, in addition to my regular duties. Worked on personnel study and personnel board and consultant. Became certified through Maya and MACAD,
Mass Commission
Mass-
Against Discrimination, MCED.
discrimination and training. These acronyms, I'm sorry. Complete a seminar on the conducting internal complaint investigations. Obtained a $10,000 grant from Maya on an audit in the town's personnel policies. Worked with the Board of Cemetery Commissioners on the cemetery fence, IFB. Completed town hall window restoration, auditorium windows. Completed the restoration of the cupola structure and roof. Worked with the town common restoration committee in the IFB for the landscaping tree project. Under the instruction of the Board of Selectmen, created a fiscal team to provide oversight over the development of the Water Department's FY14 budget and continued oversight of the Water Department's finances. And I am working on the following: IFB for the Town Hall clock, IFB for Phase 1 of the Brad Street active recreation playing fields, RFQ for, architectural services to write bid specifications and plans for an elevator at the annex, and if funded, the IFB to restore the exterior of the annex. I have been fortunate to work with a dedicated selectmen and personnel board members and administrative staff in the office: Doreen Gorlick, Amy Lyden, and Elaine Elaine's gonna kill me for
Pagliarulo.
Pegarillo, sorry. Excuse me, Elaine, if you're listening. So, with that, move on to the performance review. Okay. Okay, the performance review is as followed. It's, E for excellent. An individual performs all tasks in an exceptional manner, requires little or no supervision. G, good. Individual performs many tasks, very good. In all tasks satisfactory, requires little or no supervision. Should be well beyond the probationary period. S, satisfactory. Individual performs all tasks satisfactorily, requires normal supervision. F, fair. Individual performs most tasks satisfactorily, but not all, requires more than normal supervision. U, unsatisfactory individual fails to perform many tasks, requires close and constant supervision. Okay. So moving on to, I went through some of her accomplishments of this year, and I'll move on to job knowledge. Employee possesses clear understanding of responsibilities and tasks he or she must perform. Rating, okay, of E, G, S, F, or U, which I just went through. So with that, open to the Board of Selectmen for
Well, I
job
think
knowledge.
it definitely deserves an E. Does it without any supervision. Keeps us in line so that we don't have a problem. And just does an overall excellent job.
I agree. She should have an E, and she's 110%.
I think that the accuracy of the documentation that she provides for the IFBs and the RFPs is incredible, and that it's because of her hard work that we do get accurate bids, and that we do get the work done satisfactorily, and that she's always there to do things correctly and diligently.
Jack?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll go, she's a big asset for the whole town, not just for the Board of Selectmen. She's really helped us perform and get our fence project. She's there to help all other departments, as what is outlined here. Big asset to help the water department try to get things back on track, and she's very, very knowledgeable what she's doing.
Yeah, her
I
leadership on
recommend
the
her.
water
Yeah.
department is tremendous.
She is
I'll
the
even
glue.
go further than E, give her an E+.
She is the
I
glue
think
that
you're
keeps,
absolutely right, Jack.
keeps the town
Absolutely.
rolling.
Okay, so I
Keeps
would
the
say,
town together. She's the glue.
sounds like an E, excellent.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So with that, E. Okay. Job performance. Okay, neatness, thoroughness, accuracy, and overall quality of employees' work. Open it up, gentlemen. Again, it's
Well,
E, G,
well,
S, F, and
Certainly,
U.
Oh, she-
the overall quality of her work is perfect.
Yes. The accuracy of the documents that she prepares, and you just can't say enough about the work that has been prepared by her and by her staff. It's just excellent.
Yeah, totally agree with
Okay,
Joe said.
Stu? Okay,
I agree.
She
we have
deserves an E.
five E's.
5 E's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, job productivity, quantitative. The employee demonstrates a commitment towards achieving tasks are completed efficiently and effectively. E, G, S, F, U. Open it up.
Well, we go back to the E again because there's been many a weekend. Not only have I ridden by, but I've stopped by the town hall, and guess who's in the office doing work? It's Debbie.
And I think it was at her leadership that put together the team that got the water board procedures straightened out, and I think that was very, very important.
Yep. And I don't know if you guys look at your emails very often, but a lot of them will be, many times they're after hours when they're
Yes.
coming to us.
Yep.
On something that's important for us to deal with, and she's right here doing it. And we had a problem this past winter with the furnace down in the basement, and she was here on the weekends checking on it, making sure that it was still running.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you can't say enough. You know?
Jack?
Totally agree.
I
Don't have
agree.
to say any more.
I received the phone calls on the weekend, so I know
No, and I have.
not only the emails, but the
At
phone
night,
calls.
too. Something, whatever.
So,
Yeah.
excellent job productivity. Dependability. Employee can be relied upon to complete assigned tasks and conscientious about their attendance and timeliness.
There we go again, another Another
I
ease
think when you
replacement.
look up that definition in the dictionary,
It's
there's a
Debbie.
picture of Debbie in there.
Yep,
I would have to agree.
It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I mean, it's,
that's an easy E.
Yeah, that's an easy E. Okay. Cooperation. Employee demonstrates a willingness to work with associates, subordinates, supervisors, and others, responding willingly to changes in procedure, process, responsibility, assignments. Cooperation. EGSFU.
No
Gonna
question.
be an E.
No question.
E. E.
Absolutely.
E. Okay. Initiative demonstrates the ability to think and act independently. Originates innovative ideas and methods to improve job and complete tasks better. Again, EGSFU.
Gonna be an E.
yeah, it's,
Absolutely.
I mean, she's the one that keeps us in line.
Absolutely. Yes. Where would we be without her?
Absolutely. I agree. And let me see. Work environment and safety. Maintain safe and pleasant work environment, follows safety regulations, and actively contributes towards a safe workplace.
No question.
EGSFU.
I recommend an E on that one.
E, I have an E.
I'll second that.
I have another E. I have 4 E's, I have 5 E's.
Yeah.
Okay. Unanimous. Okay. And overall performance. To obtain an overall performance level of this appraisal, add the numerals. We have 7 E's. Okay. So excellent performance. Recommendations, action plans. None. I think.
I can't think of anything. I mean.
Just recommend that
she's-
she stick around for a long while.
There you go.
We're so
Just
happy
keep
to
the
have
good
her.
work up, Debbie.
Thank you. No, it's a
Right.
pleasure, it's a team effort here, and the selectmen have gone out of their way to be actively involved in the various affairs of the town, whatever focus area you have, and of course, working with dynamic people here at Town Hall and in this office, Doreen and Amy, and having Elaine fill in and help us with the clerical work so we can be out there to help the townspeople, the other departments, the boards, the committees. The selectmen are the chief executive officer of a $15 million corporation with
Right.
6,000 residents. So it's like running a small business, and we're involved in so many different things between, the public works functions of the highway or the water or the, planning and development and permitting and health department and everything. So for us, we have to change hats constantly and focus on different things, as they arise during the course of the day. So having wonderful people to work with that are dedicated to the town makes a big difference. And that's, town officials, whether they're elected, appointed, my co-workers, the wonderful department heads that are here that are dedicated to doing the best for the town, as well as all the support staff that we work with every day.
Well, I have to say that this office runs like a well-oiled machine. I've been in the business world before I came here for 40 years. And this is one of the best, most efficient operations I've ever seen. This is, again, I have never seen an operation run like this does in the selectman's office. It is outstanding, and you have excellent people in the office, and it's a pleasure to work in this kind of environment. And Debbie, it's your leadership as town administrator. And,
Oh, thank you.
I can't give you enough accolades, because I've asked questions and you've had answers on the tip of your tongue. You've never had to go to a book and look up something. It's always right off the top of your head, and And I just can't. We're very lucky, very fortunate in this town to have you as a town administrator.
The other thing, Debbie, we had a tragic loss in a highway surveyor, and Debbie, Scott ran a real good show, and Debbie stepped right up. We got Ron here tonight, hoping we'll be appointed to fill in the shoes for Scott. And I know Ron can say that she helped him with
I've
you know,
said it
the
100
books,
times.
everything. She just took it over. You know, it's an instinct that Debbie can do. And I think that's a real, you know, benefit for us that we got her on board.
Right.
And I don't want to lose her.
One of the highlights this year was the fiscal team, putting the fiscal team
Yeah.
together.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was quick. It was done, and we're going to continue working with the fiscal team. We have work to do still with the water department, but we are working through that. We're going to put it back together, and it, you know, can be, you know, in excellent shape when we're complete done. In a few weeks, Stu will be moving up to his new position, and
But I think
Well,
that, if I may,
Sure.
I think the key word that what you said is that it's her leadership that has put it all together. And that's why it works smoothly.
and if I could change this form, I would from E to outstanding. You really have done outstanding job.
Thank
on
you,
the top.
Ray.
Yep.
I really appreciate it, and you know, we still have a lot of things we have to work on, and, you know, I did mention continued goals and communication with the department heads, so we still have to keep working forward and making improvements in areas, and, you know, just can't sit back. There's so much more to be done, so thankfully, when you have a good, dedicated team of people that you're with, elected, appointed, co-workers, you know, it makes a big difference in getting those things done.
With that, do I have a motion to sign Miss Egan's
I'll make
performance
that
appraisal?
motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, all sign.
Thank you.
Bob, sign this to the right of mine. Well, again, that was a pleasant task tonight,
Yep.
the evaluation.
Yep.
Okay. Next thing, we have, I'll move down to
Then I went to new business.
new business, discuss highway surveyor's position.
Yeah.
I have, new business. New business. Okay, discuss highway surveyor's position. Under new business number 1. I have spoken with Ron Keefe about filling the highway surveyor's vacancy. Ron is interested in accepting the position. Proposing the following. Number 1, Ron Keefe is appointed to fill the vacancy in the highway surveyor's position effective Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013, up to May 13th, 2014, the annual town election. These are this is from my proposals. 2, Ron will be paid the same weekly pay that Scott Levitt earned based on his annual salary of $70,163 through June 30th, 2013. Effective July 1, 2013, Ron's salary will be reduced to the amount provided for in the FY14 budget, which is $55,000. I feel that Mr. Keefe has worked above and beyond his normal scope of responsibilities after Scott Levitt's passing and has proven himself to be a capable leader. Mr. Keefe will be responsible for running the highway department and will be requested to continue to work closely with the town administrator and the Board of Selectmen in all highway department matters. Mr. Keefe has been in continuous contact with this office since Scott was taken ill and continues to do so. It is important that this line of communications continue to remain open. I call for a discussion first, and then I'll call for a vote. So with that, do you wish to discuss my proposals?
Well, I have a couple of, I have no problem with what is here, but that was elected job. And we do have, I know we're talking the highway surveyor job tonight. We do also have the tree warden job
Yes.
that's vacant too.
My main concern tonight, Jack, was
This
I
here?
was the surveyor's
Okay, yeah.
position first.
Well, I have no problem. Ron takes it. I've worked around him. He can do the job. He's been out there, up on things, and I know he can fulfill on my part. As one member can perform the job and do it right.
Joe?
As a resident for 43 years, I've always felt that the highway department has done a super job in keeping our roads in good shape and handling the winter snowstorms. And I know Ron will continue in that vein and continue to do that wonderful job that Scott has laid out.
Thank you.
No, I think Ron had a good teacher. Scott also had a good teacher, and he was very able to pass that learning experience on to Ron, and I think Ron's going to do a great job.
Stu?
I think Ron's been going along fine, and he will continue to do so.
So, Ron, would you accept the position?
I accept.
Okay. Okay, and again, I think Scott would be very pleased. I mean, I know you worked very closely with Scott right up until the end, and I know it was difficult for you, but you did an outstanding job in the transition, and I have to commend you for your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me. As you know, 3 hours after we found out he passed, we were in the plow trucks going out, and one of my biggest helps has been Pat Snow. You could figure out where Scott hid stuff very easily in the computer, which was not my thing. Also, the fire chief, he constantly was over every day. U5, constantly in contact, making sure, not that the work was being done, but that emotionally we were okay. We're still waiting for him to walk around the corner every day. And he did touch a little bit about Deb. Deb not only does her job, the underlying thing is she cares. She really does. And she would call, making sure that we're okay. And we really haven't had a chance to breathe down there yet, so. And Amy and Doreen, but and the chaplain was over every other day, so. But the residents have been great in this town, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Just a comment that the caring that Scott has shown through the years and that Ron has shown that out in the front lawn that you could see those damn tire tracks. And Ron said, we're going to be out there and we're going to take care of that. And you could just see that, the earth is out there and it looks so much better. You did a nice job.
Appreciate it.
And I'm sure you'll continue to do that kind of caring that has been shown throughout the town.
You make a call down there to Ron, and if he's not there, he gets right back to him.
Yep,
Very accommodating.
Right there.
good man.
I mean, when Scott was out ill, I was up in front of St. Mary's one morning, and Judith, I can't think of Judith's name, it's the crossing guard, and she said she was... Robot. And Judith turned to me and said she couldn't see, and she was afraid people wouldn't be able to see her. I said, hold on 1 second, and I called down, I got a hold of Ron. Within a half hour, Ron was up in front of St. Mary's, knocked down the snowbank, so Judith could be seen by the traffic coming by, so...
Yep.
That's kind of response, you know.
Yep.
So that's a Scott response, and that was a Ron response, trained by Scott. So. Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that,
Oh,
go ahead, Jack.
I'll make the motion as spelled out 1,
Okay.
2, and 3, that Ron Keefe be appointed to fill the vacancy in the highway surveyor's position, effective Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013, up until May 13, 2014, annual town election. Ron will be paid the same weekly pay that Scott Levitt earned based on his annual salary of $70,193 through June 30th, 2013. Effect-
70,163.
That's what I said, 70,163.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I say it wrong?
I thought I heard 90, but that's okay.
No.
It's
No,
163.
no. Yeah, 70,163 through
Okay.
June 30th, 2013. Effective July 1, 2013, Ron's salary will be reduced to the amount provided for in the fiscal year 14 budget, which is $55,000. That's the motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ron, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Ron?
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, he will need to be sworn in, so we'll have an official action notice prepared for him for first thing in the morning.
Okay.
He'll need to present to the town clerk,
Sounds good.
that official.
All right, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Ron.
Welcome. I jumped.
Item 6 under general business is next.
Didn't we do that? We didn't do.
I think we gotta do 5.
I think
Yeah, we got one more road opening, right?
Road opening.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, got a road opening. Request for National Grid into Farnham Road at Brook Street for corrosion work for National Grid. Have you looked over? Everything seemed to be in order.
Here's Stevie.
Okay, do I have a motion for the road opening at Farnham in Brook Street?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, Bob. Oops. Okay. Thank you. Joe. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is North Shore Home Consortium membership renewal. The town's membership in the North Shore Home Consortium is up for renewal effective July 1, 2014. The board needs to vote for renew the town's membership. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the town's been a member of this since before I came here. So this is an annual, it's a 3-year cycle of renewal, and so the town's in a consortium because we're not eligible to receive federal HUD money directly. Obviously, we're not an entitlement
Right.
community or close to it. So this consortium brings in the federal HUD dollars to the communities in the region, and then if there was something that we could potentially use, we could draw out of that and file an application for that. Or alternatively, our money goes back into the pool. When we have inquiries for affordable housing, if we don't have anything available here, we would direct people to PD City Hall, where they would meet with the North Shore Home Consortium team there, and they have lists of apartments or homes that are for sale that fall under affordable requirements. And actually, I had asked Katrina O'Leary, our planner, to go to a couple of the meetings to follow different things that were going on there. So I would recommend that the board continue this. There's no cost to the town. The town of Raleigh's membership in the consortium, raises or maintains, in this case, the level of the federal HUD money that would be entitled to get for this part of Massachusetts.
Okay. All right, Deb. Any questions from the board? Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a
Second.
second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to general business number 7, letter from Independent Living Center of North Shore and Cape Ann annual legislative breakfast. So, the selectmen are invited to a legislative breakfast, and the breakfast will be held on Friday, May the 10th, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 11:30 at the Salem Waterfront Hotel in Marina, Pickering Wharf, Salem. Registration begins at 8:30 a.m. The theme this year was Independent Living Today in Massachusetts. With fiscal uncertainty in Washington, D.C. and budgetary constraints in Massachusetts, how do we keep first community first, independent living a top priority? Institutional care must be our first option. So with that, anybody interested in going? Joe, you wish to go? Okay. Anybody else wish to go? This is very similar to what you and I went to, Debbie, right up in Newburyport?
No, that was the MMA.
That's MMA.
This is the Independent Living Center that the town of Raleigh is a member of, and they advocate for living and workplace accommodations for individuals that may have some special needs.
Mhm.
So this is an annual legislative breakfast, and apparently they have invited several legislators, and I believe some federal, so maybe congressmen or their aides, if they couldn't make it to this breakfast.
Okay, so Joe, you wish to go?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else wish to go? Have a motion to send Mr. Perry.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion?
To Salem, nowhere else.
To Salem. To the Pickering Walk
Yeah.
for the day.
For the day.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Joe, you're going.
Okay, we'll respond on behalf of the town.
Thank you.
That's a good place to be on a Friday morning. Pickering Walk.
Yes.
Okay. Request from Police Chief Barker to lift the hiring freeze for reserve dispatch position. I respectfully request the Board of Selectmen to lift the hiring freeze and allow me to initiate a selection process for an additional reserve dispatcher. You had authorized me to hire a reserve dispatcher last fall, which we did, but because of the new training regulations and part-time nature of her job, she will not complete the state mandated training until May, and then she can begin local training. The position I am requesting is to, in this letter, will be already trained dispatcher from more immediate use. On April 1, 2013, Reserve Dispatcher Brian Norris resigned effective immediately, which puts further burden on our staff. As you know, Reserve Dispatchers are only paid when they work, so there is no expense to the town to carry them. The only cost is for training and equipment. These costs are not insubstantial, but they will be recouped in savings over time. Robert Barker, Chief of Police. Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the hiring freeze is lifted. Okay, memo from Senator Tar on grants for Civil War monuments and sites. Senator Tar announces preservation of grants for Civil War monuments and sites. Massachusetts Civil War sequential Centennial Commission developed a grant program designed to preserve objects and sites in Commonwealth that are significant to the history of the Civil War program. The program, in partnership of the state's Department of Veteran Affairs, the Massachusetts Foundation for Humanities and Civil War Commission, is open only to Massachusetts municipalities and non-profit organizations. The program will provide matching grants up to 50% of the project's total cost, but not exceeding $5,000. The preservation aspect of outstanding project is one more example of how Massachusetts preserves the past for future generations, said Robert von Wolfgang, Commission Chair. It also clearly demonstrates that the Civil War is a lot closer in time than people may think. Eligible projects might include the renovation, rehabilitation, preservation, enhancement of existing monuments, of memorials relevant to Civil War and Civil War veterans. Proposals to construct new markers for historical significant sites will also be considered. The Civil War Commission will appoint a panel to review this application. This exciting initiative is more than a preservation program, commented David Tibaldi of Massachusetts Foundation for the Humanities. We hope and expect that it will bring communities together to explore the role for ordinary citizens all across the Commonwealth played in one of the great dramas of the shared past. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis through May 17, 2013. Application materials may be found at the Commission's website, www.ma150.org. Should my office be any assistance, please feel free to contact me or a member of my staff at your convenience. So, I'm going to turn to our historian.
Yes, sir.
Our Civil War marker on the Common,
Yes.
is that up to snuff, or is there anything that...
No, it's really in pretty decent shape. It was put up in 1915 at the time. And
which was the 50th anniversary?
I believe so. And there were actually 8 models to choose from. And the town chose that particular model. I know if you look around at other towns, they have similar statues, but some of them are a little bit different. There's different configurations. So, and that one I think is really a nice one. It shows the Civil War soldier with his musket, and all of the names of the Civil War people that came from Raleigh are on that monument. And like I say, it's in really good shape. So. And I'm not sure of any other really historic places that would be in Raleigh proper.
They mustered on the Common before they left, correct?
Well, they trained.
They trained.
Yeah, they trained on the Common. And of course, during the Revolution, Mr. Arnold camped there on their way to Quebec. But it was basically the training in the training field. That's where they trained. That was the Common, and I think that's why the statue is probably there.
How many Civil War veterans, do you know?
I don't know the exact number, but on all 4 sides of that monument,
Well,
they've got names on it. So,
okay.
I mean, we had no battles here, obviously.
No.
Things like that would be a commemorative, but
Yeah, everybody in the Northeast was kind of untouched by the war, except
sending people.
sending
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And, well, the monument's in good shape.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Does it need to be cleaned or anything?
No, it's amazing. It really doesn't.
Okay.
I check it every once in a while when I'm looking at the Revolutionary one too. So,
Okay.
but
Maybe take a look at it and just see if it needs.
Yeah, and maybe we can ask the audience if anybody out there has something they might think that we could commemorate. Just let us know and we can take a look at it.
Yeah, this being the 150th anniversary of the war.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay. Good one. Okay. Letter from DFW Post 5707, the Town Memorial Day ceremonies. As acting Service Officer, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 5707 Raleigh, I hereby request your approval for annual Memorial Day ceremonies conducted by our organization. Ceremony will take place Monday, 27th of May, 2013, will begin at 1:30 p.m. Units participating in the parade will form up at 1 p.m. in the parking lot of the VFW and proceed along Bradford and Summer Streets into the town cemetery, fronting Town Hall, and then crossing into the town common. This is the same route followed by the May 2012. We look forward to annual gathering, one which pays respect for our predecessors that greatly deserve, and invite you all to attend. Respectfully, Kenneth, how's Ken's last name? Gauze, Service Officer. So with that, gentlemen, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Another second? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Do you all wish to participate?
Good luck, Billy.
Good Lord willing.
Good luck, Willie,
Okay.
yes.
All right. That's kind of my favorite ceremony to go to.
It is. It is.
It really is.
Yep.
It's the town participation is tremendous.
Yes, it always
Memorial
has
Day.
been, Bob. It's amazing. You'd think this day and age, people would start to back away from it, but as a young Cub Scout and Boy Scout, I mean, I used to march in the parades all the time, and it was always a good crowd of people.
I believe we've had, like, the last time I can remember, 2 years ago, I remember about 300 people
Yes.
that showed up.
Yep. Yep.
I was
People
quite
take it very
impressed.
seriously. Yeah, it is great.
So we will remind the town folks so that they'll show up for that day. Okay, general business number 11. Letter from the Friends of the Raleigh Public Library, signage requested for annual book sale. So, as you're aware, each year the Friends of the Public Library runs a book sale in May to raise funds for the library. In 2012, the book sale raised more money than ever before. We thank you for allowing us to put signs on town property and increase visibility. This year we hope to top 2012's income. Therefore, we request permission to place several lawn signs on town property. Again, the signs are 24 by 18 inches, red and white print. We would like to put them out from April 29th to May 6th. The locations are in front of the library, Main Street, front of the town annex on Central Street, on the island, 133 Bradford Street, near the Bradford Tavern, on the island beginning Railroad Avenue, on the island in the driveway at Ezra Park. Thank you for your time and continued support, Friends of the Public Library, and that's Nancy Judge. Okay.
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, the only thing I request is that when they put them on the islands, that they be cautious of not blocking sight views from the traffic entering and leaving those intersections.
That sounds good. With that, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, grant that request.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Friends are a great organization, do a great job for the town.
They really do.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, 12, review special permit application, New Way Construction Corporation, 244 Havel Street. Okay, the zoning board of appeals had their public hearing on the application on April 18, 2013. The ZBA determined during the public hearing that they did not need to take any action in the application because the previous decisions are still in effect. Board of Selectmen does not need to does not need to review this application or provide comments back to the ZBA. So that's it, then? No.
Yeah, in fact, when we received this on April 9th, the Board of Selectmen wasn't having a meeting until tonight. They had their hearing on Thursday evening, so we had received it, and we hadn't had a chance to even have the Selectmen's meeting to review it. But apparently, the ZBA has communicated to Mrs. Lyden here that the ZBA did not take any action.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
That was easy.
That was easy. I'm always hesitant when they're easy.
I understand.
13, request from the Board of Cemetery Commissioners to lift the hiring freeze for a seasonal labor position. Request from the Board of Cemetery Commissioners to lift the hiring freeze for seasonal labor position. The Board of Cemetery Commissioners requesting the Board of Selectmen to lift the freeze for a labor position. This is an annual request. Any questions from the board? Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alright, general business number 2, discuss public hearing on town meeting warrants. Okay, the Board of Selectmen has scheduled an informational public hearing on the annual and special town meeting warrants. The hearing is scheduled for 7:15 on Monday, April 29th, a week from tonight, 2013. Chairman Snow feels that this hearing provides the townspeople with an opportunity to ask questions on the warrant in a more informal setting than town meeting. Chairman Snow is recommending that the Selectmen ask the department heads to attend the hearing in case there are questions on the budgets or articles. For the Water Department budget, Chairman Snow is recommending that the Water Board Commissioner Tim Toomey and the Superintendent attend and be prepared to speak if necessary. Does the board have any thoughts on the hearing?
I thought the hearing that we had last year was very good. I mean, people came and they asked questions and we were able to answer those questions for them. I think it makes the process go a little bit smoother.
I think that the more information that we can provide to the town prior to the town meeting is beneficial,
And
so that
it's,
everybody understands what we're doing at the, on the basis of the town warrants.
Very appropriate that we're having it in the auditorium, because years ago, they used to have what they called pre-town meeting.
Pre-town meeting.
Pre-town meeting, where they would actually do basically the same thing. They would, the townspeople would show up to the hearing, and the Board of Selectmen would present the articles for town meeting, and do the same thing, answering questions or discuss them, or whatever. And they did that every year, as what they call pre-town meeting, before the actual town meeting. So we seem to be reverting back to that, which is not a bad thing.
No, I think it's a very good thing.
Jack, anything?
No, I think it's gonna save a lot of time, valuable time that we need to go over all the budgets at the annual town meeting. People come, get a question, they can get an answer, as well as the people home listening that would be attending the meeting, and get an answer that would be done there to maybe answer a lot of questions that people might arise to ask. It's a good thing to have it, I think.
Stu?
I agree.
Okay. Again, I've always been about full transparency and for the people to see how the government works and see and I'm really glad that when I go around town, how many people comment that every Monday night, there's somebody put as the best reality TV on Monday nights. So, but it's good for people to understand the budget process and to go through and understand, I mean, it's really like the budget at your house when you look at all this, and especially the warrants and how we run our big house, the town. We all have a piece of this, and I think it's very important for the townspeople to take an active interest and to see the process and understand it. You know, it's out there for them to come, make comments, and understand how the town runs.
Ask questions, because sometimes it is confusing.
Right.
And it's much better to do it, you know, in an informal setting upstairs than to do it, you know, at town meeting. You know, a town meeting is a process of, it's important there too, but it's a process, you know, to continue, you know, to have it flow through. So, anything else? Okay. We don't need a vote on that or anything else.
No, I'll just
we've already put it.
request, you know, anyone that can attend
Yes.
from the staff.
Okay.
Be present.
Okay, new business FY14 police and fire accident insurance renewal. Debbie needs to renew the town's police and fire accident insurance policy with Cabot Risk, the insurer carrier the town uses through Maya. The town is required under law to provide a specialized accident insurance for all police and firefighters. The Board of Selectmen needs to vote to authorize Debbie to renew the policy FY14. Looked over the document, gentlemen?
This would be, you know, just an annual renewal with some enhancements in the coverage, but
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well. Okay, old business, town administrator update on town hall projects. Yes, Deb?
the town hall cupola restoration is complete. The next phase will be the clock, which will be going out to bid on that, the restoration of the clock. So I'll have something for you after town meeting to review before we release that bid document. So I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Okay, the cupola looks outstanding. It really
So
does.
it's
They did a
complete,
very,
it's
very nice
it's
job.
copper, so people need to understand the nature of copper.
Is there any
that-
way of painting that gold? Or does anybody know and understand copper or how?
Well, you certainly can paint it. It's probably a specialty type paint, but you can paint it. It was blue before, so.
And that's from the oxidation from the it's
No,
copper,
actually,
was
it
it?
was painted blue.
It was painted blue.
Yeah, it's done several times.
Okay.
Commonly referred to as Grover blue.
Over blue.
Yes,
Now,
that's a specialty color.
can it be painted gold?
I would think so. It's gonna happen now, because it's still, some of it's still shiny.
Uh-huh.
The rest of it's going to turn a brown and almost a black.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts to oxidize and it gets that kind of an ocean green color after a few years, but we might wanna think about doing something.
I just think, you know, it would look kind of, you know, I know if you don't, you think I'm wrong about this, you know, tell me I'm wrong. You've done it before.
You're wrong.
I think it would look very nice gold.
Gold, you know, kind of like on the same theme as the, you know, the State House. That's what I was thinking.
Except we do understand the State House is gold.
Leaf,
Exactly.
that's different. That's,
Well, gold leaf is gold.
yeah, it's gold, yeah. My brother was in the sign business, so gold leaf, yes, I understand it.
I think it's a good idea, like Bob says, I mean, it looks good, the fresh copper, but get a
It's
few
not- it's
years
not gonna
into it,
last-
it'll
it's not
start
gonna last long.
greenish,
Few months,
you know, yeah,
Yeah,
especially around here,
Tarnish.
with salt here.
yeah, right.
I'm afraid, you know, but it'd be nice to see if we
Something
could.
to look
could
out
you-
for.
Well, we'll certainly research that, just to get information back to the board on, you know, when that would need to be done. Obviously, we'd have to probably go back to the fall town meeting and
Okay.
seek some additional funds for that. But just so you know, that it is copper, and as I've been told, it does turn color, and that's a natural process.
Right.
But that's the
Exactly.
restoration, you know, of the cupola. It was copper roof,
Mhm.
and it was subsequently painted blue. I think they wanted to change the
So,
color.
you know, it is gonna change. You know,
Right.
and the color is it's gonna oxidize.
Well, if you notice the first sheets they put on the sides of this, the top, still shiny how the first sheets have held
Yeah.
down already.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Doesn't,
don't,
doesn't take long at all.
No,
as long as you are aware, that's a natural process, but that's what the restoration required was a
Exactly.
special copper roof, which is very,
so we all happy with the idea of gold? Does that
Yeah.
sound good?
Good
Yep.
idea,
And I'm
right?
I think
sure
so.
there are some folks out there that doesn't think that that's appropriate, they will let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll certainly accept your input.
Okay. All right, so then just take a look, see the. All right. Okay, moving on to assign motions for the town meeting articles. So if you would open up your, let's go to the annual town warrant. Larry, take care.
I'm motioning to leave.
Okay. Okay, let's start with, warrant for the annual town meeting. Deb, I start with Articles 1, 2,
okay, so I will assign, unless you want to, there'll be a suspending the reading of the warrant motion, and you'll wait for the town clerk. She actually is directed under the town meeting bylaw to read the entire warrant, so we always make a motion to cut her off as she starts to
Right.
read it.
Right.
So I will assign that to one of you, unless you want to volunteer for it now, so we, okay.
Bob's a
I'll
good
do it.
man on that.
Suspend the reading.
You
Yep.
can read all that. If you
Yeah.
can't, turn it over to Joe. But Sue will jump, someone will.
okay.
Then we jump to 3.
Then we jump to 3.
3 is the standard town meeting bylaw article.
Okay, I'll do 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, yeah, we won't need to do 1 or 2.
need to-
Yeah,
One
just
is
do-
open during town meeting,
Go into 3, okay.
okay.
And 4 is, that's done by,
Us selectmen have read that. So,
okay, I'll do 4.
the FinCom does 5,
5 is,
and they've met
that's FinCom,
with
right?
the moderator, so they've gone over how that procedure will work on the budget.
Okay. Article 6,
This is the water budget. Typically, it is read by a water board member.
okay.
I don't know if that's what you would like to do this year, or if selectmen would like to do that, so
Okay,
I'm not sure.
it should be water board member, I would think. Okay, 7,
It's a water article again, typically read by water board.
water board.
And then the
Okay,
new section, the revamped informational table isn't really an article, that's the informational piece that the selectmen requested to be revised, along with what you've added now, the
Yes.
new information on the water rates and things like that
okay.
for the people to see up front.
Article 8,
Should be a lot of-
water board. Okay. Article 9,
should be a lot of-
water board. Article 10,
10 through 13 will be one motion. So I
okay,
would recommend the selectmen do that. These
Okay.
are standard articles that are voted under a consent motion to consolidate this.
okay. Who wishes to do that?
I'll do that.
Joe? Okay, Joe, you do that. Okay, 14,
Once again, that's one consent motion for the 12 lines in Article 14.
okay.
Selectmen.
Who wishes to do that?
I'll do it.
You do it, Joe? Okay. Okay, moving on to 15.
That's the 375th committee.
Want to do that too, Joe?
As chair, yeah.
As chair, yeah. Okay. 16,
That will be Board of Health.
Board of Health.
17 is the CPC committee.
That's CPC, we'll do that. Okay. Okay, Article 18.
I can do that one.
You do that? Okay, 19.
I'll do it.
Okay. Okay, Article 20.
20 should be planning board.
Planning
20,
Board.
21, 22, 23, 24 are all planning board, so they'll be doing those. And then Selectmen does 25.
20,
That's really a formality.
24 is Planning Board also.
Next one is the 25.
And then 25 would be Selectmen, and that is,
The ballot.
To me. To me, the St. Mary's Church for the election.
It's
Okay.
customary to have that
Bob, you gonna do it?
motion.
Okay.
Bob Mary's turn.
Well, Mary's done. Okay. Moving on to the special town meeting warrant. Let's start off with one,
Is that another
Suspend the
cutoff?
meeting.
to suspend the meeting, and then I'll read Article 3.
Okay.
Okay. Then Article 4.
I can do that one.
Okay. Article 5.
I'll do it.
Okay. Article 6.
The treasurer will do that.
Treasurer. Okay. Okay. Moving on to Article 7.
375th.
Joe, you want to do that?
I'll do that.
Okay. Okay, moving on to Article 8.
This is the fire department capital equipment. It should be a board of selectmen.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay, Stu. Okay, Article 9.
I'll do it.
Okay, Article 10.
This can be a selectman as well.
I'll do Article 10.
Okay,
Again, it can be the selectmen for 11 as well.
I'll do that.
do that one also, Jack?
Yeah,
Okay,
might as well do a few here.
sure. Okay, Article 12.
This is the consent order.
I'll do that. Okay, Article 13.
13 I'll do.
Article 14.
I can do that one.
Okay. Article 15.
I'll do that.
Article 16. That's CPC?
Yes, for the selectmen's
Selectmen?
project. So it should
Okay.
be a selectman.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
Do that, Joe? Okay. Okay, Article 18.
Wait a minute.
17.
Seven.
Oh, wait a minute, did I miss 17? What did I do? Okay.
Is that conservation, Deb? 17?
So we'll have a conservation commission.
Okay,
Remember, do this, if they're not available, the selectmen will have a backup.
okay.
I'll just assign it.
I can do it if they
Okay.
don't make it.
Okay. Article 18 now.
I'll do that one.
Jack, okay. Article 19.
I'll do that one.
Article 20.
He should be done, I think, by the water department though, shouldn't he?
Shouldn't they? Yeah.
I think
19 and 20
19 and 20 should be
should
water.
be water.
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
It can be water, or
Let me see.
the water commissioners aren't available at town meeting, or
Well, it should be
Do
there.
that.
It's important for him.
then I would suggest then the selectmen do it in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep me down for 19 and just in case the,
19, okay, 20? I'll do 20.
okay.
The water's not doing that?
In
Well,
case
we
they
can-
don't do it. in case
This will
they
be,
do.
I guess, in case they're not available,
Okay,
then
okay.
we'll just,
21,
Yeah, I'll do that one.
okay. 22. I'll do that. Okay, 23.
I'll do that one.
Okay. 24.
Wow, that's a biggie. I'll do that one. $66.
$66. There you go, Joe.
I can handle that one.
Well, at least they won't shoot you over that one.
Okay, Article 25.
I'll do it.
Okay, Stu. Okay, Article 26. I'll do it. Article 27.
That one's gonna be a controversial one. Hopefully the water department's there for that one.
Okay, the vote transfer public. I'll do that.
Town clerk will do 29.
Hmm?
Town clerk will do 29. Actually 28.
28, town clerk.
28, 29.
so, if, in case, I can have a discussion with her, she'll have to step down, I believe,
If you don't wanna do it, I'll do it.
because she's, in order for her to make the motion,
Oh, yeah.
then
Right.
she's there taking the
Okay.
minutes.
So you're gonna do 28, Stu? And I'll do 29?
All right.
Yeah, I'll speak to her in case she would like to, then that would be a backup.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. 30?
30.
That's the dog licenses.
Well, I'm doing 29, I'll do 30.
Okay.
It's about
31.
another dog bylaw.
Yeah,
The
another
dogs
fellow.
are busy.
Change all the bylaws then.
Joe, you gonna do that one?
Yeah.
Joe? Okay. Joe's going to the dogs
Oh, my
tonight.
word. 32 is another one. Good.
One. 32.
There is another.
Joe, you gonna do another? You gonna go to the dogs completely?
Yes.
Okay. Joe's to the dogs. Okay. All right, we're all set?
We got them all in order.
Okay.
Joe, you'll need more than your ice cream that night.
Yes.
Bring some yogurt though, put in the refrigerator all back intermission.
Good idea. Yes.
There's no room in the freezer, Brother Joe.
Okay, well.
So we got a lot to do, a lot of articles on town meeting 2 weeks from tonight. Gonna be a lot of water, Amy.
Dehydrated.
Okay, have you read the minutes for March
Yeah.
18th,
I have.
2013?
Yes.
You have, Stu?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
Any corrections besides we want to,
We've already mentioned
we've already mentioned it.
the top line, so with that's gonna get taken care of.
Okay, that'll be taken care of. We just have, we seem to have two Chairman Snows here, so that'll be corrected. All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting March 18th, 2013.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, minutes for April 12th, 2013. Okay, minutes. Everybody read them?
I have.
I was absent, so I will
Okay.
abstain.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, we accept the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting April 12th, 2013.
Jack is giving me a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Okay. Well, right at 9 o'clock. That's pretty good tonight, guys.
Yeah, did a lot of business.
Okay. See if we get town meeting in that way. Okay, Raleigh Food Pantry has needed donations. The food pantry is open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also, there's a drop-off box at the library. And also at those hours they just gave you, you can drop off your donations. Just check the date of the expiration of the food. They don't want anything that's, or they can't pass it out if it's gone beyond the expiration date. So, the town has the following vacant seats. Zoning Board of Appeals Associate, 3 open seats. If you're interested, please call the Selectmen's office. The battery recycling box is located here at the town hall, also at the library. And if you have any A batteries, C batteries, any kind of batteries, and instead of throwing them in the trash, please drop them off here, right across from the town clerk's office, or drop them off at the library. Okay. And everybody's been kind of collecting them in little plastic bags, throw them to the side in the house, then bring them down here and drop them off. Instead of putting them in a landfill, much better. Okay, Raleigh Public Library is accepting donations for the annual book sale. DVDs, CDs in the original boxes will be accepted. No textbooks, encyclopedias, digests, magazines. Okay, and also they don't want videotapes.
Right.
Okay, it's hard to believe that they're passé now, but they are.
And that is,
Okay.
that's true.
The Raleigh Public Library Annual Book and Bake Sale, Saturday, May 4th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Sunday, May 5th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay? That's all the announcements for tonight. Okay, make a motion to go into executive session. Call for motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy with respect to collective bargaining, because an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the collective bargaining position of the town, and not to return to open session. Ask for one of the members of the board to make a motion to go into executive session,
Mr.
not to
Chairman,
return to
I,
open session.
Recuse myself from the executive session.
Okay.
I'll
So,
make a motion to go in executive session and not return to open session.
I'll
With a roll call vote.
second that.
I have a second. All those in favor with a roll call vote.
Hi, Jack Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Rob Snow.
I, Stu Delzell.
That's it. We're in executive session. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week, and we will have the meeting will be upstairs in the auditorium. Thank you and good night.